Yo, what's going down, man? No, Happy New Year. Yeah, let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Because we hope you made it. You know what I'm saying? We did. Some might say barely, but fuck all that. We here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is time to once again talk wrestling like nobody else for another year. So that means that it is time for the first Black Champ podcast. And I'm Camp from the Port.
Look, man, make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you listen to your podcast, the Barber's Chair Digital, the home of First Black Champ. Make sure you check out the podcast and the programming there as well. teespring.com/store/first-black-champ. Or if you follow us on Instagram, you could go ahead and click the link in the bio and get the merch. Lastly, make sure you following us on YouTube. That is right there in the link as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Get all of the content. We talked about our MVPs, favorite matches, and things of that nature last week, along with a number of things. So make sure you go ahead and check the visuals out at our YouTube page, or you can search out the What Digital. That is also the home of First Black Champ, man. The year. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you didn't say who you were. I don't know if you care about that.
Oh, man, I'm JR Bang. I'm JR Bang. My bad. I'm the low-key legend JR Bang. I'm starting using that a little bit more.
Yeah, you did right.
Legend JR Bang. Start using that a little bit more. Humble brag, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But, man, it's a lot on my mind today, Kent. It's a lot on my mind. I got my Bears jersey on.
Yeah, shout out to Khalil Mack. That's the only Bears jersey I want.
There you go. Today, as we record on Sundays, today is the final day of the NFL season.
Wow, that's so weird saying that like right now.
Yeah, and no game got canceled.
Wow. Hey, well, shout out to the NFL. They figured it out.
The Bears and the Packers play today. You know I'm a Bears fan. You know the majority of my family is a Bear fan. So if the Bears win, they are in the playoffs. But
I know Brian will be happy about that.
Yeah. But I told him, fam. I told Brian G. I'm not going to be on social media today. I try not to be anymore during the game. I started doing that last year. Because it also, for me, it takes away from the experience. Like, as soon as a tackle happened, I'm like, oh shit. Get my phone. Like, it takes away from the experience. But then you also look at your statuses and stuff when Facebook hits the memories, and you start to see a lot of bad memories and good memories, because I was full working my ass off in 2018, but 2019 it was kind of depressing. And I was like, you know what? Nah, man, I'm just gonna stay away from social like that. I might hit Twitter every once in a while, but stay away from social, and it helped. But also, if you listen, I think it was Summer Sessions here on the Barber's Chair Network, or 79 for Hallis, one of them though. Well, 79 for Hallis more than likely, because it's the football joint. So yeah, 79 for Hallis. Shouts out to Scott and Flows. I talked about famously how the Bears-Packers game in 2013 changed the trajectory of my life. How Chris Conte, who was the safety, fucked up on the play. And Randall Cobb ran right past them, scored a touchdown, 40 seconds or so left in the game. Same situation as today. The Bears win, they're in, they play at Soldier Field, they win, they're in, it's a wrap. And they lost, and I chuckled in misery. And my father took it the wrong way, and it turned into First Black Champ. He was pissed. It turned into First Black Champ. Like, it was, fuck you laughing for? Like, man, I'm laughing in anger, fam. But it's almost like fuck, he was pissed. He was mad that day, and it turned into First Black Champ. He damn near kicked me out the house that day. Fuck out of there. You know how my father is come to the Bears. He was.
Well, one of my favorite moments at your house, and this is we're gonna get to wrestling, I promise y'all, but y'all gotta hear this. One of my favorite moments at y'all crib in Bolingbrook was when he was like, come on, Bears, do this one for me. Do this for me. And then you look like, do it for you, fam. Like, Oh, yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And that shit was funny as hell because he was really like out of it, like, yo, dog, you gotta hit this field goal for me.
Got to.
You look like
For
do it
you,
for
nigga.
you. Like, the fuck they gonna do it for you for? I was like, oh.
Man, matter of fact, let me throw another one in there before we start talking about wrestling. And to mix it in, rest in peace, Kevin Green. I don't know if we talked about that when he passed.
No, we didn't, because he passed between episodes, I think.
Yep. So rest in peace, Kevin Green.
Yes, absolutely.
Hall of Fame NFL linebacker. Played with the Los Angeles Rams, Pittsburgh Steelers, Carolina Panthers, Green Bay Packers. Was an assistant coach over that too. He had passed, so rest in peace to that. Because also, he was in the square circle. Wrestled in WCW a couple of times. He could have been a professional wrestler.
He was super decent.
Yeah, but the this rivalry here is crazy because of family. Because my uncle and my father are twins, and my uncle is a Packers fan. My father's a Bears fan. So that mesh is just it's still wild and shit. But even last year, well, not last year, 2018. Well, technically 2019 because the shit happened in January 2019. There's a recliner. I don't know if you can see it in the crib, but there's a recliner. That recliner right there, right?
Okay. Wow. There we go.
So one of the neighbors was moving and he was like, yo, I got a recliner, $25. I was like, oh shit. All right, let me go ahead and get that recliner. So I'm getting the recliner and everything, and give him the $25, take the recliner, put it back up in the house. And right when I get the recliner in the crib, it's the Cody Parkey kick.
Oh, shit.
So I got this jersey on. I'm like, yo, we about to go ahead and go to the second round. You know my history with Philly. You know, I don't really fuck with, like, I fuck with Philly hip-hop, but I don't fuck with Philly like that, especially since they hit our ass with the electric slide a couple of years ago and shit on their Super Bowl run. So I'm like, yo, this is payback. And the double dink happens. Yeah. So the neighbor walks back over to the crib. Hey, man, you all right? Because I just saw what happened.
Oh, no.
You seem to look like a true Bears fan. So I just wanted to check on you and make sure you was good because that was bad. And I was like, man, no, I'm not. And also, this was one of the few times the general manager of my office has called me. It's one of the few times. He's called me a handful of times, right? But I say a handful, maybe 5 times. Maybe.
That does certainly one have.
And one of them would call me to be like, yo, I just want to call you and check on you because I saw what happened. And I was to make sure you were straight. Like, no, I'm not straight, fam. So that recliner behind me, that lazy boy, is a reminder of what happened when Cody Parkey missed that field goal. But it's a comfortable joint, and I'm not throwing away $25. So this here, and even I think during that podcast, I was talking my shit. During that podcast last January, I was talking my shit about how we was gonna fuck Philly up and all of that shit, and that shit ended up happening. So yeah, after that really was the time I was like, stay off of social media when it comes to sports. Because you gotta enjoy the moment, but then also you don't want to embarrass yourself on Facebook. And I told Brian, like, don't, and you doing it for attention anyway. So stop it. Stop it. You know, goddamn Trubisky, like, you know, you doing a 1-page soliloquy like during the first quarter too. Like,
Hey, what be so funny is that, like, even if like you miss a game, if you are a friend with him on specifically Facebook, you can get a chronological like time order of what happened the entire afternoon or evening. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and then if you extra pissed about the game, then you can be reminded on Wednesday because that's just how the algorithms do.
You be scrolling down Facebook, you got over the game, and you be like, this motherfucker did throw an interception in the second quarter.
Right.
Damn. Like, nah, I'm good, man. I'm straight, man. But we're gonna go ahead and get to this wrestling, man. It's the new year. One of the things we're gonna talk about today is what we would like to see in 2021. This might be the first year that I've gotten the year right off bat, too. Like, I've not messed up and said 2020 not once. So that just means we can get rid of that shit.
Right, absolutely.
Hey, fuck it.
So many reasons to get rid of 2020.
Yeah, it's a lot of reasons. You know, it's the year started off good. The Royal Rumble happened. It was fans up in the seats and shit. You know, Drew McIntyre wins the Royal Rumble. He heads to WrestleMania. He wants Brock Lesnar and all of that. But then a little bit into February, March, the pandemic happens, and all of a sudden, WrestleMania is in the closet, basically.
Right.
In the closet, basically. But because of the Thunderdome, and this is just talking about WWE right now, but because of the Thunderdome, you know, we have people, you know, virtually inside of these buildings. You know, flip it to AEW. AEW do have fans, but they are social. They do practice social distancing. They do have your mask. But even before that, they had the wrestlers make up the people in an arena. So they did have the cheering and stuff. But I know we talked about some things in 2020, so you can check the archives for that. So later in the show, we're going to talk about some of the things that we would like to see in 2021. But to kick off 2021 on Monday Night Raw, tomorrow, they're going to have Legends Day. So, Buddy, we won't name, Ric Flair, Mark Henry, who else? The All-American girl, Tori Wilson. I didn't know she had like a little name, you know.
Right, yeah. Did she strike a deal with the American Girl doll or something?
Yeah, like that? Right. That was weird to me. Who else is jumping on the joint? Carlito will be back.
Yeah, that's always wild when I see him back.
Yeah, it is, because I don't think he should have never left. Like, Carlito is one of those wrestlers that I'm like, he should still be here.
Yeah.
Even see him in the Glow Wrestling joint, the Glow joint on Netflix, the TV show around the gorgeous ladies of pro wrestling. I'm like, Carlito should still be here. Like, this is what for real. Like, nah, he should still be here. Like, if Chris Jericho is around, which we got to talk about that too, we will. But if Chris Jericho's still around, if Triple H is still around, if a lot of these wrestlers still around, Carlito should still be here. But and you did hear me right. I said, Buddy, that we will not name. But the main event on Monday Night Raw is going to feature a world title match. Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee for the WWE World Championship. So right off the bat, Drew Brees expected to retire. So right off the bat, we have a black man wrestling for the World Championship on Raw. And he defeated Sheamus for that opportunity, which of course it just seems like to me is going to be Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre for the championship. So two questions I have, because I don't want to go into the who do you think going to win thing, because if Keith Lee wins Monday, we're doing an emergency pod.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because that would be a very unexpected title change.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We will be live on everything. With that being said, my question number one to you is, did Sheamus fuck this up so we see Keith Lee in the Royal Rumble match versus Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, a three-way match for the World Championship?
No, I don't think that happens.
So you think it's going to be straight up?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be straight up, because, and I hope you weren't going here next, but my first thought was, when is the last time a black wrestler has even wrestled for the World Championship on Raw? Like, I don't think I've ever seen that, and I'm counting The Rock, and I thought about The Rock first, and I'm like, did he ever get a title match on Raw?
He had to.
I want to say he did, but only thing in my mind coming up is Intercontinental Championships. Like, that's it. So
The Rock ain't never faced Triple H on Raw for the title when Triple H was the champ.
For the WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw, I honestly don't believe so. Because Triple H's run, Rock is in Hollywood and he's on SmackDown, and Triple H is on SmackDown. So, yeah. So, but be that as it may, no, I don't think Sheamus is going to ruin this and make it a triple threat match, only because I think they are just testing how well Keith Lee is as a standalone. Like they basically, I think this is the hype that real match as we go into 2021.
This is a test to see how this will work. I mean, my prediction is still Keith Lee winning the Royal Rumble. I just switched it and said that Keith Lee will be going up against Roman Reigns. He's going to pick Roman Reigns instead of picking Drew McIntyre. To me, this does nothing but confirm that we won't see this match again.
Yeah, and I'm with you.
No, I know me and Boogie had a conversation where Boogie believes that Big E is going to be that person. Not like, nah, they're not taking that Intercontinental Championship off of Big E just yet. Maybe SummerSlam, but it's not going to be WrestleMania. But the actual next question, is that if Keith Lee, depending on how well Keith Lee performs, do you think that this sets him up to have a big 2021? Because we do know, like the beginning of the year Raw used to be just as important, if not more important, than the Raw after WrestleMania.
Facts.
But the last couple of years, it's been like this legend shit or just something else. Right. The last great Raw year New Year's Eve joint that I can remember is The Miz versus John Morrison.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's when people was like, okay, John Morrison might be getting this belt.
That's true.
Sooner rather than later, things just changed or whatever. But go on to tell us why you believe that this is going to set up Keith to have a banner 2021.
One, because I think that whether they want to admit it or not, I think the WWE like front office is really watching social media to see who the people fuck with, right? And then also because there's too many legends and white wrestlers that matter that are so high on Keith Lee. Like, for everything considered, I kind of think Keith Lee took a little bit of Adam Cole's thunder from that Survivor Series, NXT TakeOver.
Oh, you goddamn right.
You know what I'm saying?
He took the
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I think for everything considered, I think the button was on the finger of fucking Adam Cole. I think the button was going to get pushed, and rightfully so, because he killed that shit. But nothing works better than the eye test of just the moment. And Keith Lee in the Survivor Series match against Roman Reigns was like, that felt like a box office moment in the making. And and even though, yes, savvy wrestling fans are well aware who Keith Lee is, if you watch NXT, SmackDown, and Raw equally, there was still an audience that was like, hey, yo, who's the big ass black dude? But then you got everybody else going up like, oh shit, it's fucking Keith Lee. Saying all that to say, Keith Lee foots the bill of what they want at a WrestleMania. And Drew McIntyre, who Vince McMahon has always been high on, and we know this for a fact. Like, that was literally his gimmick. Like, Drew McIntyre's gimmick is like, yo, Vince really fuck with me. Like, that was his first gimmick. So for them two to be kicking off the year for Raw, that's huge. And that's why I don't think Sheamus is going to fuck this up as well, because I think even Vince is like, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll give these black wrestlers a even greater look. You know what I'm saying? Because like usually I make y'all sit around for a decade and earn the shit. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I'll just listen to the people this time
and see what these blacks are talking about. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It could literally be that. And again, you know, I mean, but you know, also to be extremely fair, you know, Keith Lee is not Kofi Kingston. He's not Big E. he's not The Rock. But you know, but like I was saying, he has the great possibility to be a fusion of Vader and The Rock. So maybe Vince see what I see, and maybe Vince sees what you see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you won with that one. You won with the Vader and the Rock shit. I'll be looking at that nigga now, be like, yeah, this without the little horns and shit, this motherfucker is God. He's like a nice version of Vader.
Yeah.
And you even saw the mean streak a little bit, you know what I'm saying, these last two Raws. So everything that you're saying to me and to us is the reason why I believe that Keith Lee's winning the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
And he's going to SmackDown to face Roman Reigns. Because, again, I don't think The Rock versus Roman Reigns happens in this time.
Okay.
Mainly because, I mean, I think they said only like 25 to 40% capacity. And I think Raymond James Arena, where they're going to have it, I don't think they're going to have it in Santa Clara because, you know, they got all these pandemic rules. Don't think that's going to be the case here. But either way it go, no matter where you go, unless you go to Houston and Atlanta, like unless you say, yo, we going to the Georgia Dome or Mercedes, whatever the name of the dome is now, or unless you say we're gonna have it at Minute Maid Park, it's not gonna be full capacity. Only way that would be funny though, if Vince McMahon is currently talking to the officials in Houston or Atlanta. Yeah. Because if he's looking at black people, it's open.
Yeah. So hey, wide open too. It's never wide open.
But because of what you said about the Survivor Series and how now Keith Lee is where he is and Roman Reigns is who he is, it makes all the sense in the world for you to pull that trigger now because you have a backstory, and within that backstory, you got the fist pound. You have Roman Reigns acknowledging Keith Lee, like, "Yo, okay, I see you. I see you. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'll see you. I will see you around next time." You now have that backstory that you can use. And that's when you smack dab, put them together there. Plus, Roman Reigns has to go against somebody that's physical. Yeah. And wants a physical match. And Keith Lee's going to give him that. So I think this is going to be a better year for Keith Lee. I'm going to put a GuaranDAMNTee right now. I'm gonna. And this is a GuaranDAM hope. Okay. This is a GuaranDAM prayer. This is a GuaranDAMNTee. Keith Lee winning at WrestleMania. And he's going to defeat Roman Reigns.
Wow. Hey. All right. Listen. Respect to all of our Samoan wrestlers and listeners. But yeah, man, it's black champs over everything, man. Especially at WrestleMania. Especially at fucking WrestleMania. So if this breaks down as Bang is saying to y'all right now, I want to be clear that as soon as it's announced, it's all Keith Lee for me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what else about his outfits, developmental, all that shit. It don't matter. If he's in the main event for the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns, I am going with Keith Lee, and it is the bottom line.
That's what we in at right there. Going to SmackDown. Speaking of Roman Reigns, I missed it, but I saw those social media clips and I read the articles. Kevin Owens just like getting his ass whooped by Samoans. He just likes it. I saw the promo that Roman Reigns did where he was going over the year and he started to big up Paul Heyman and he started bigging up his cousin because his cousin is finally really on board. He's listening to him. And even I was Roman Reigns when Kevin Owens' music came up. Like, again, Roman Reigns with these moments. Kevin Owens' music plays and he goes,
right. It's like, yo, fuck dude doing out here, man.
Like, fam, we've beat you twice.
Right.
Twice. why are you here, fam? And never back down. Kevin Owens part, start to happen. Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens that night. But no, fuck the match. It was after everything after the match, and they threw him off of the Tritantron stage. And according to reports, he suffered a bruised kidney and spinal contusions. Now, that would mean, in my opinion, he's out of the Royal Rumble. So we need a new opponent. And I was thinking we were going to get a new opponent in the first place. So it is. So, but before we get to that part, your thoughts on Kevin Owens just consistently getting his ass whooped now every week by Roman Reigns?
Right. It's interesting the angle that he's taking here. But who better to take a real ass whooping than Kevin Owens, who legit probably is, next to all the Samoans on the SmackDown roster, he probably is the toughest person on the program. I mean, so it really does. It sets it up like, like for instance, the family ass beatings that Jey Uso took, like, we kind of felt bad.
It was getting too much.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, the family ass whoopings are one thing, but beating up Kevin Owens is like, oh, Roman Reigns he's willing to brutalize somebody. Like, oh, he's going to go even harder if you not family. and I think that's a good tone to set. It's like, yo, you see what I did to my cousin. Now, what do you think? Hey, yo, you white and you from Canada? Like, so we ain't even from the same country, my nigga? Oh, I'm fucking you.
You speak French, man. You speak French.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I do like the contrast. It's like without it even being said, you can tell Roman Reigns will shift the gear when he really don't fuck with you. So I think that's dope. So and I mean, who better else? Because Kevin Owens obviously will keep fighting. I think that's what's important. Like, he gives you the feel that Roman Reigns ain't also doing the squash matches. Like, he ain't on Brock Lesnar time, even Paul Heyman is with him. Like, we're gonna give good quality matches. We're gonna put stipulations and stakes. We're gonna really go all the way out. But somebody's still getting their ass whooped. So I think that's good.
Right. So it seems like to me, Kevin Owens is out of the picture for Royal Rumble.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But there's gonna be some people that come back. That are coming back, But before we even talk about that, like, who do you see going up against this man at Royal Rumble? Because he got to have a match.
Hey, unfortunately, I gave you my pick. I gave you my pick last week, but as we close out the year, I'm still going Rey Mysterio. Against Roman Reigns. Yeah, I mean, I want to be proven wrong, but hey, we'll find out. Well, we will find out because it won't take long to build. It doesn't, like, you don't need a real drawn out story for Rey and Roman, but yeah, I'm expecting Dominic to be in the back. Dominic to show Roman Reigns very little respect. He's gonna get his ass slapped. And then that's gonna get that, and Ray gotta look out for his son. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's twice his size, and then that's gonna kick it off. He's like, "Hey, Ray, man, don't get fucked up because your son needs to learn what it is to be a real legend out here, man. But to be a real tribal chief." So yeah, I'm still going Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio at the Royal Rumble.
The only reason why I asked that is because Seth Rollins was supposed to appear on SmackDown on Friday, but it was canceled.
Yeah, I read that.
And as we look at the SmackDown roster, other than your prediction of Rey Mysterio, there ain't really no faces that can wrestle this man at any point other than Big E.
Right. No, absolutely.
That's not happening at the Royal Rumble. At least I hope not.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't think it is. I think what it is now, just to reiterate, I think I said this like in the last couple of weeks, Roman Reigns is just supposed to dominate motherfuckers. Like, like he really run the fucking universe, you know. And we still got to get him through, you know, Fastlane to get him to WrestleMania. So I'm not saying that the Royal Rumble will be a night off for him, but but it's just like, hey yo, who can I beat the fuck up to kick off the year? And I think that's what I think that's what it is for Roman Reigns at this point. And then we'll get to the real shit later. Yeah.
Let's start this y'all right.
You know what I'm saying? And I even though I know Seth Rollins does get over heel or face in some matter of you know, aspect, I'm not ready to see that Roman Reigns versus either Seth Rollins right now.
Okay.
Like I wish they would revamp the Messiah character a little bit, because I think there's more life in that. You just got to give them more opponents instead of just trying to take down one family the whole year. With that said, I hope I mean, even though he won't be the Monday Night Messiah anymore, but something that they can do with Seth Rollins to make him equally as great of a heel, to just have the focal point off of solely just Roman Reigns. Because I mean, right now, also, just like there's a lack of faces, hell, the only heel that matters is Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because Baron Corbin them don't even matter to me. But that's one of the reasons why I said Big E versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental Championship.
Which I love it. I love it.
So we already told you our predictions for the Royal Rumble. You can check the archives, which is last episode for that. Make sure you go check that out. So yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and get into it. And we're gonna talk about ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about AEW too.
Yeah.
I know some of you guys might listen to us and be like, they really don't fuck with AEW. And you know what? That's kind of true.
Yeah.
That's kind of true.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say this right now. AEW did an amazing job with celebrating the life of Brody Lee. I'm talking about an amazing job. But before we get to the 2021 part, it's something that I didn't mention last week that I totally forgot. And I apologize to you, because the laughter you would have achieved would have been remarkable if you didn't see this. But the NBA season started. We do know the NBA is home, has a home on TNT.
Yes.
So the day of the beginning of the NBA season, TNT, moved back AEW. They had them come on after an NBA game. So you had people who were expecting AEW, if they didn't look at the advertising, looking at basketball. But then you had people who were looking at basketball, seeing AEW commercials, and then when the game goes off, they see AEW programming. And boy, did they talk shit about Chris Jericho.
Oh man, that's gotta be rough.
They called that man fat and flabby all on Twitter.
Man, not Le Champion.
Yeah, you goddamn right. They killed that man. So that's why I apologize, because the laughter with the tweets would have made a lot of sense then, but we're a week and a half removed from that. But I do have a question for you, combining that when it comes to 2021 AEW.
Okay.
We know who Chris Jericho is. Absolutely. I am a Chris Jericho fan. I've been a Chris Jericho fan since I first saw him in WCW. My freshman year of high school, well, I talked about this, where we had, we picked wrestlers and all of that stuff, and I had Nitro is Jericho on my gym shirt. I was a Jericho fan. So everything from the Lionheart to turning heel the papers, you know, here's the moves,
Right.
all of that. Yes. I was with all of that. And even when he went to the WWF, I was like, yo, put the title on him today.
Okay.
2021. It's 2021, ladies and gentlemen. So to kick it off in alphabetical order, let's start with AEW first.
Okay.
What would you like to see Chris Jericho do in 2021? Do you think it's time for him to wrap it up and maybe become, you know, an executive and run the writing room, or not only do that but be in a play-by-play, or color commentary? Remember, because he is good on the microphone. What would you like to see with Chris Jericho?
Man, you know, really, I would just like to see a very rare case of someone like Chris Jericho becoming the James J. Dillon of the inner circle, like the faction. You know what I mean? I think even though I got to say that I don't care if I see a new Chris Jericho match like ever again, there is still so much he can provide under the realm of sports entertainment that I don't think can be captured behind the curtain or behind the camera. Like, commentary is the only other thing that I will accept. But other than that, I think JJ Dillon. I think Chris Jericho in a James J. Dillon or a Bobby Heenan type of role would really elevate AEW on the entertainment realm in ways that they don't even recognize yet.
So similar to MVP and what he's done with the Hurt Business.
Yup, absolutely. And this is not even like, and I didn't even think MVP was capable of doing this. And I loved MVP in real time on SmackDown. So yeah, him in a capacity like that, where it's like, yeah, you know what, maybe he will suit up, maybe he will take a couple bumps or whatever, but yeah, we don't need no Chris Jericho matches. Like, for what? What the fuck we need to see a Chris Jericho match for? Especially in the shape that he's in. Like, he cannot lion salt. Like, I remember the one we seen, what was it, 2019 maybe? Like, when AEW first started, that lion salt looked so terrible. Like, he definitely looked like a pregnant lioness. It looked bad all the way around. It was just madness. But but on the mic, though, Chris Jericho was doing some of his best talking I've heard in like a decade. Yeah. Like, he was doing his shit. So he has a lot to offer. I think he can help the Spanish guy, Sammy Guevara, out a whole lot. I think he can help MJF out a whole lot. There's also a couple other guys that I just believe that, you know, if they're struggling to find character, he can help them a whole lot. But I think it's really about him still being on the looking like, hey, you know what? Once my skills going, I got another 10 years doing this. And again, I think that helps because he's still the greatest wrestling mind in that organization. No disrespect to the other legends that came before him that are also on there as well. But he is the best wrestling mind on that entire company. No question.
Yeah, man. I'm just not down with 50 plus wrestlers wrestling.
Word.
I'm not down with the wrestler in real life. I wasn't really down with it when Ric Flair was doing it. Man. I wasn't down with it when Buddy Ass, that we won't mention, that's gonna be on Raw tomorrow, was doing it. Nah, I'm cool on that. Yeah. So I'm with you. I like to see him do the MVP James J. Dillon approach and really grab one or two of these wrestlers, and then he just suit up every once in a while. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you know you have a hand that will fuck somebody up if they would have come down to the ring in general. But I also believe, and I know I've heard it with some of the wrestlers, like, yo, Jericho said, man, just do this, just do that. I really think that and if this is the case already, then I apologize.
Mm.
But I would love to see Jericho just head over creative.
Mm. Yeah.
I would like to see him in that type of role. I'm not sure who is the lead of creative, but it's not the best to me. I've talked about that. And I think, as you said, I agree with you. I believe that Jericho is the smartest mind in that, with followed behind followed behind Arn Anderson.
Yep.
Like, it's him and Arn Anderson are the two smartest minds as far as wrestling in that organization to me, and I think it needs to be utilized. And to me, as I said, AEW is indie plus. It's indie plus. And I've seen in a lot of indie organizations where the inmates run the asylum. All right, what you want to do today? Nah, I think they need structure. And I think Chris Jericho can bring that structure, and he can still be Fozzy.
Yep.
He can still get his Fozzy on. So I would like to see him take, and I don't want to see him go face either. Do not turn into a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that shit either. No. Be late champion, but just in another late. Don't be late the champ though. Just be like lay G. I don't know. Like,
right.
But
right. But no. To your point though, and for everybody that is unaware, like, they have potentially the greatest psychological wrestler creative team possible in wrestling right now. Because if they were, and I think that all involves in using Chris Jericho, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts, and Dustin Rhodes the right way. Like, those four guys, look at the last 20 or 30 years of wrestling. They have some of the best moments or are part of the best factions of it.
And Jake Roberts is number 3.
Yes, absolutely. So really, there's no excuse for AEW to not be creative, to not be real detailed, and not have great character layer.
At all.
It's no excuse.
Yeah, I think that right there, put in the OGs, we straight.
Yeah.
Like, we good. So I think putting minds and being strategic would be dope for me. Another thing that I would like to see AEW do is, and along with Chris Jericho, and have better structure, is to, with that structure, really start to set up long-term stories, longer-term programs. It just seems like every time I turn around, somebody beefing with somebody that they wasn't beefing with yesterday. Like, what the fuck? Like, when did this happen? When did the Sting and Darby Allin thing came together? So, I mean, when it comes and he walks up to him, it's like, all right, cool. But what's the story?
Right.
What's the why here?
Right.
Why should
my style?
Right. Basically, like, what is the why here? Are you? That's the weird part of that. MJF now seems in flux. Like, ever since he lost to John Moxley, it's like the thing with Chris Jericho happened, and then now it's just like,
that's the AEW champion.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I don't understand. It's
not Kenny Omega to me.
Yeah. Respect to Kenny Omega, but dog, you're not MJF, man. And honestly, a new organization, and okay, now granted, I've never ran a wrestling organization in my life, right? Never have, right? However, sometimes, what I've learned by just watching documentaries and watching how different territories ran or whatever, your most polarizing guy, the guy that you think will at least ignite people to buy a ticket, whether it's to throw a soda at you or to be like, yo, that's the fucking man, should have the belt or to be chasing the belt. Right now, MJF, if he's not the champ, he should be wrestling every month for the championship until everything else falls into place. He's the best young guy on the mic. He's a really good wrestler. And his character is together. Like, you don't have to figure out what to do with him. Like, he's add water or shit, add title. It's it. It's over. I don't understand why that's not the move. Just based on the fact that, I mean, if nothing else, you got a champion that can rival the other champions in other organizations.
And the thing about this is, and I know they're doing the thing with Impact, and I'll get on that in a minute, but I actually would rather see MJF go to Impact than Kenny Omega.
Again,
based off of everything. Yeah, like I would rather see MJF talk his shit to Rich Swann, the Impact champion, than I would Kenny Omega and Don Callis.
That's a match.
This man had an incident with Brody Lee Jr. And still find the time to tweet out "fuck that kid." Consider everything that's going on. He's gonna stay in character.
Right. Like,
and yes, Brody Lee would have it no other way.
Man, listen. Again, he is the perfect future throwback of wrestling. Like and the thing is, the internet, everything that y'all say y'all hate about wrestling today, MJF is he's sticking to the real script. Everywhere he fucking goes, y'all want him to break kayfabe. That's how good he's doing. Y'all ask him to break kayfabe, and he's like, "No, you too." Like,
you ain't gotta do that today. Oh, okay, Ben. All right, cool. We see what
he's like. Right.
All right, so I got those. What's some of the things that you would like to see for AEW in order for you to watch them on Wednesday?
You know, I'm with you on the storylines. And funneling creative to like a team or a one person, because I do believe, the Young Bucks get to decide what they're gonna do, and then Darby Allin this thing is deciding what they want to do, and when Matt Hardy comes back, he's gonna say what he wants to do, and everybody's doing it. Also, I think for story purposes, I think they need to bring in a Jack Tunney, or they need to bring in a Sergeant Slaughter or a Cowboy Bill Watts. Somebody got to get Cody Rhodes out of the seat, out of the chairman position. Even though I love his outfits, I love a lot of his mic moments. Like
you talking about on screen?
Yes, on screen. Yes, yeah. Just the on screen element. You know, just like when Shane bought WCW. You know what I mean? Like they got to do something, or the Jacksonville owner got to be like, "Hey, yo, Cody, listen, man. You're blurring the lines too much for me. We voted, the court voted, you got to step down. You're just a full-time wrestler now. And we got whoever it is."
I'm going to throw out a name. Blake Check right here. I'm going to throw out a name. CM Punk. Okay.
That works wonders for them tenfold, because I don't think people are as excited about CM Punk wrestling as they think they are, but I do think that they are excited to have him with a pipe bomb.
You know? I think they're also. I don't think CM Punk going to the WWE is exciting.
No.
I think him going somewhere else is exciting.
Yeah. Because and for everybody that may not be understanding what we're saying, remember when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart made up on Raw? I never went to see Bret again after that. Like, it was cool. It was cool. Like, yo, I'm glad that, like, you know, y'all got to be like grown, old as hell, damn near die, and full circle come back around and piece it up. Like, that was awesome. But yeah, after that, like, yeah, don't give Bret a mic again unless he in Toronto talking his shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so like so CM Punk and Triple H piecing it up. Oh, you can leave right after the segment, my brother. Like, you can leave right after the segment, because that's unfortunately when shit gets too real in wrestling, when it comes to resolution, then you lack creative. Like, half of CM Punk's fire was the fact that he hated fucking Triple H and was like, yo, I'm gonna prove this bitch wrong fucking week. If he's not operating with that in the WWE, we don't need him there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. They need an authority figure. It's hard to have an authority figure when you know who are the authority figures. But Vince McMahon has had authority figures, and we know he's the chairman.
Right. But the difference is, though, we never really considered him as an able-bodied to wrestle and beat anybody ass. I think Cody Rhodes still has 50 great matches left. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I mean, all things considered, Cody Rhodes is still top 3 in his organization in wrestling. That's the problem. He's not a dude past his prime thinking one more match. We're not one more match in Cody Rhodes for at least another decade.
That's true. Yeah, I think they need an authority figure. They need somebody that to come through and be like, oh, that's going to be like, yo, you wrestling this. I think they need storylines derived from or around the authority figure. Like, yo, he just took over for Cody and them. Yeah, we know in real life, Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are the executive vice presidents. Right. But give this man a role, which is higher than that, on TV.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you can actually start from there. Like, damn, this dude, Tony, just gave this man our spot. But this ain't nobody that you think you could just run over. Like, this ain't Eric Bischoff. But even Eric Bischoff at his highest was like threatening, even though he wasn't gonna wrestle, he wasn't gonna beat Stone Cold head up. He was going to fight him and still get a kick or two off, and somebody was gonna cheat for him to win. Like, you need more of that. So I'm with you. They need an authority. They need a true authority figure that is the person on camera making the matches and really being the person that stirred the pot.
Absolutely, I'm with it. Yep.
What else you got? What else you got? One more for AEW.
One more for AEW. I would you know what? And I'm saying this, but I haven't watched. But definition of their tag team and women's division specifically.
Oh yeah, they've been getting heat day one for the women's division.
Yeah, their women's division is garbage, and it's not. It really has no structure. It's just women going out there and just making some shit happen. And unfortunately unfortunately for those ladies, they're being deprived of the greatest time to be a woman in wrestling because they're doing the worst job. Like even the NWA has this better structured out, and they only got 5 women over there.
And one of them is wrestling on AEW.
Man, you know what I mean? So yeah, they got to get better structure into that. But I think all of this, honestly, everything that I fix all comes back to creative and how it should funnel down to that either that one or that group of 4 that we named, because it's I mean, this shit, this ain't your parents' basement. You know, you don't just dump all the wrestlers out the box and just decide yo, we about to put this together. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm gonna have Doink the Clown versus Jake the Snake tonight. Why? You know?
Right?
You know
why?
Why? Yo, Sting is gonna wrestle British the Barber Beefcake. Why? Why are you doing this? So and as long as that gets fixed, I think the divisions get better. I think the champions get better. Structure matters, ladies and gentlemen. Hate Vince all you want. And I had this conversation when we closed the year. Hate Vince all you want, but at least shit is ran and it makes sense at the end of the day. You don't like the picks all the time. You don't respect the pushes all the time, but the shit always seems to make sense in the end.
Yeah, man. I believe that the women's part is all fucked up. That ain't. It's gonna take a while. I think they got some talented women on the roster. I think that Britt Baker is nice. I know people are not necessarily big fans of Big Swole. I am. I just don't like her theme music.
Logical.
That's all. I do like the Asian women. Nyla Rose is a beast. She's their Nia Jax. That's a lot to the women's division. If they had somebody that just cultivated, I think they would be okay, but it's just not the case. The tag team division, I think, is set up nicely. They just don't have any direction either. I mean, you got the Young Bucks, you got FTR, you have, whoever you have Pride and Powerful. You have enough wrestlers who are heels or faces where you could just put somebody together and be like, oh, we're just gonna have them wrestle too. You got the Dark Order. But
not for nothing. Like, I think they do have the most robust tag team division.
Yeah, to me, they got the most robust division. They got a more robust division than the WWE.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just not no direction behind it. It's like, even if you look at AEW Dark, like you got Devon kids over there. TNT, I think it's like Terrell and Terrence is their name, something like that. That's why they call themselves TNT. But I saw them on social media do the Dudley Death Drop, and I was like, yeah, this is like it's like the niggas at the crib doing the move we was doing the most. It's like, they got it.
Yeah,
it's just that I don't think that they have the structure to bring storylines out of these joints. So I think that's what they messed up at. As far as my last thing too is have a true mid-card title.
Okay.
I know Cody was talking about how he didn't feel like the TNT Championship, was a mid-card title. Fam, it is, and y'all need to treat it as such.
Right.
And what I mean by that is this. The mid-card championships was always a way to start to boost up who's next. Yes. It's always a good way. Now, you have those times where Roman Reigns would be the Intercontinental Champion, or like Triple H should be a Intercontinental Champion, Ric Flair, and all that. But they need a true mid-card championship to help boost up some of those wrestlers that are not in the high card, not in the high card section. And then that's when you start to build up the middle, you start to build up the base. And then you start building up the base, everything else grows from it. It's like the foundation. I'm one of those people that believes that your mid-card titles are your foundation, because those are the workers. Those are the ones that are going to have these dope matches that everybody are talking about. You're going to have that main event that everybody's going to talk about. But then you're like, oh, man, did you see that match between Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho? Oh, man, that shit was lit. Right. That's the shit that you need. I don't know if you really get behind the TNT Championship and do that. I don't know if you create another one. And I do believe they're one of those people that need like the TV championship. But they need a true mid-card championship, which I'm going to – I do say that AEW takes away from WCW a lot. So if it's one thing that I want them to take away from WCW that I haven't seen and that I actually liked, like looking back, because we're preparing for our 50 greatest wrestlers of all time lists.
Yeah.
One of the things that I actually look back in hindsight and be like, damn, I actually like that shit. WCW had a world tag team championship. They had a US tag team championship. They had a mid-card for their tag teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
And occasionally, sometimes that US title will be bigger than that world title.
Yeah.
You had the US, you had the world championship, the US championship, the TV championship. You had 3 levels. I'm not saying they need to bring in a 3-man championship. Don't do that. No, 6-man, excuse me. Don't do that shit. But I would like to see more titles in that joint. And I think it will help them out a lot, because then you're gonna be able to make all of those titles important.
And with that said, and to your point, I believe right now where we sit, Spanish guy Sammy Guevara is probably going to be the greatest mid-card champion in AEW history. Like, that should be his story. Like, to be honest, I don't see him right now as like, yo, that's going to be like my AEW world champion. But he gives me so much of the staple, foundation, worker, consistent, consummate champion of an organization.
Yep.
And they better use him right before Vince and Paul decide to. Like, I'm giving like no way they're not watching him in MJF. There's no way. And even Darby Allin. I'll even give Darby Allin this dude. I'm like, yo, we can give you something better than this shit you're doing with the OG over there. You know the guy that you're facing wants to be over here too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And all three of those guys versus Seth Rollins and Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly and fucking even Elias and Keith Lee and yeah, it gets different. It gets different, and they'll be elevated instantly.
Yeah. Now let's go over to NXT. NXT, I think this was a year for NXT where I wouldn't say it was a down year, it was a transition year. But you still had some of your stable people. You still had the Undisputed Era. You still have Joey Gargano. You still have Io Shirai. You still have Rhea Ripley. But you start seeing new wrestlers start to get their shine. Hell, you saw Leon Ruff win the North American Championship. You start to see Karrion Kross. You saw Keith Lee come and then go. You starting to see a lot more. Pat McAfee came in and stole the show.
Boomstick.
Damn right. So what are some of the things in NXT for 2021 that you would like to see?
Man, outside of Kyle O'Reilly getting the singles title, nothing. I'll say this, and I've mentioned this on the show, so this ain't no surprise. I mean, that golden era pocket of NXT is over officially, and now I don't think we should consider it as guys got to move. Men and women have to move from there to make it happen. It's like, yo, you just got to make it happen. Like, there are some superstars that belong there, and there's some superstars that belong to move on. And now I don't think that it should be looked at as lower class or developmental or anything. It's just another organization that exists. So with that said, just work with what you got. You know what I'm saying? As much as we love like people like Tommaso Ciampa, it might be a time for him to dial it back and put it in park, man. I would rather see him live and raise his family, you know what I'm saying, than to need all the neck infusions like every 6 to 8 months. But dude cold, but still. I do like the Undisputed Era. I mean, as much as, you know, people see like the sky being the limit for Adam Cole, I don't know. I don't know if I like him on Raw or SmackDown yet. I really don't. Everybody else is kind of just there. Like everybody else is, I mean, outside of Pat McAfee and like his crew, you know, like, yeah, man, everybody's where they're supposed to be. Just get better at whatever you started in 2020. And then let's talk in 2022. Let's talk in 2022 about the shit y'all want to do, you know?
So I have a number of things for NXT. So I'm glad that you ain't have a lot. So first off, I agree with you with Kyle O'Reilly to the point that I hope Kyle O'Reilly beats Finn Balor for this championship. I hope that Kyle O'Reilly is the champion after their big New Year's event. Yeah. I am still high on Adam Cole, and believes that Adam Cole, at the very least, should be on the main roster. Okay. I still believe that they have the best wrestler. They have the best wrestler. And what I mean by that is they have the best person that's going to go in and give you a close to 5-star match that you can get in that man, in Adam Cole. Mm-hmm. I think that, you know, Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. I get it. But as far as like getting on the mat and having a dope ass match all the way around with no matter who it is, I think that's Adam Cole. Which with that being said, I don't really think Adam Cole needs to be on NXT for the Undisputed Era to flourish because of Riley, because of him. So he can go, but I do know they're about to do the Dusty Cup, and Adam Cole and Roderick Strong are entering the tournament. Bobby Fish is hurt again. So I get it. But yeah, like Adam Cole don't need to be there. And I think Kyle O'Reilly should be the champion. He should get a championship run. At least he should hold that bitch, you know what I'm saying, for a month, like Keith Lee. And lose it to Karrion Kross, because I think that's going to be your champion either way it go.
Okay.
The other thing that I would like to see for them to be, and as you said, a true third brand. As you said, I think we are past that whole developmental, this person has to leave and don't nobody need to come to NXT. Nope. Nah. I'm not saying Seth Rollins has to get drafted by them. I'm not saying that Roman Reigns has to be drafted by them, but there are a number of dope wrestlers that are lost in the shuffle on Raw and SmackDown. One that I'll talk about a little bit later is Apollo Crews. You know, you mean to tell me Apollo Crews can't be a NXT champion?
Especially right now, like right now.
Like dead ass. I think that should happen. 205 Live needs to be changed to the second NXT show.
Okay.
I think NXT should have a second show. That show should be a rebranded version of 205 Live. You already have the cruiserweights there, and the Cruiserweight Championship is now the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Okay. So you already have the second show. That 205 Live needs to be rebranded, and it needs to be rebranded as NXT second show. And then that way you still have your cruiserweight matches and your people over there. But a lot of those cruiserweights are people that we don't really know that is on there. So you already have people that you're developing on there. So start putting some of these other wrestlers that's on NXT, since you can't do these live shows no more. Start putting them on there. You know, start having those matches other than the cruiserweight matches. So I would rebrand the 205 Live. The last thing that I would do for NXT is start putting some of their matches on the pay-per-views.
Yeah, pre-show shit, right?
Yeah, not just pre-show. Like depending on what the match is, though. Like depending on what that person gives you. Like the Dusty Cup can be. Like I don't think they should. I like the NXT takeovers, and that's dope. And I don't think that you should end those. But what I do believe is that if you have, let's for example look at Karrion Kross, right, when he eventually becomes the NXT champion, right? He goes up against Adam Cole, right? I do believe that you can have a return match on a pay-per-view.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, they're starting to do standalone NXT takeovers a little bit more, where there's not a pay-per-view that's going on, but there's an NXT takeover and they're having it on Saturday. Right. All right, cool. When you don't have an NXT takeover, but you have a Survivor Series coming up, you know, why can't you put that match on there and still have an equally dope match? Because the one thing that I'll say about NXT takeover, and I think we're spoiled on, is that we don't see too many bad NXT takeovers.
True. Bad.
Matter of fact, we haven't.
Yeah, not a bad one. We just had some that definitely weren't as good as the 1-2 before.
We've had one that was like, oh, okay, this was dope, but that's because of high quality. How high the quality is you get with NXT Takeover. So based off of this year, you can't tell me that you can't move an NXT Championship match to one of the big fours or even have an NXT member inside of like that fighting for like Money in the Bank.
Right. I literally was thinking Money in the Bank when you said
it. Yeah. Like, I mean, and it doesn't have to be an NXT champion that's fighting in Money in the Bank. Like Finn Balor could be the NXT champion, but Karrion Kross can be in the NXT, be in the Money in the Bank and win it.
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, look what happened with the 2020 Money in the Bank. It went to somebody. It's in the possession of somebody that wasn't even in the match.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, why not remove, like, I guess Otis and whoever else was in it and put 2 guys from NXT in there.
2 guys from NXT, 2 guys from Raw, 2 guys from SmackDown. Call them night.
Boom. There it is.
I just think they need to be more involved in what you see on these main card pay-per-views, especially the big 4, especially them. Survivor Series, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble. They're already going to be involved because they're going to be in a Royal Rumble match. But damn, you mean tell me, you can't have Karrion Kross versus Kyle O'Reilly? Right. I'd rather see that than see a grudge match.
Right. Yeah.
Grudge match. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that totally trumps Baron Corbin versus Rey Mysterio.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I just think they need to be more integrated in the pay-per-view structure when it comes to some of these matches too. All right, let's move over to now what I consider the B show. It's the B show now, ladies and gentlemen. Go over
Monday Night Raw.
Go over Raw. We already talked about Keith Lee. I made my GuaranDAMNTee prediction that Keith Lee is going to win the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. So Keith Lee will win, but then he will go over to SmackDown. But being that he's a Raw roster member, win the Royal Rumble, all that stuff, whatever.
Right.
But considering what we see with the Raw roster right now, what are some of the things that you would like to see for Monday Night Raw in 2021?
Man, the only thing that's been glaring in my eyes, especially the last 3 to 6 weeks of watching Raw, is that Bobby Lashley needs to be the WWE champion. Like, bottom line, I know what they have Drew McIntyre doing, but who's been dominating like Bobby Lashley this 4th quarter? Who? The only other guy is on SmackDown, and that's facts. And he only beat up 2 people. Bobby Lashley been beating up factions. Bobby Lashley beat up factions. He's beating up tag teams. He's beating up 8-man tag like teams. Everybody has got their ass beat royally by the U.S. champ, even when he wasn't the U.S. champ.
Yep.
So you can't tell me that a run like that don't end with him holding up the WWE Championship. You just can't. So that is the number 1 main thing. And you know what? I don't care if it's for 6 weeks. I don't care if it's from February to Fastlane. I don't give a fuck. The bottom line is that Bobby Lashley should be the WWE champion sometime this year because he's done nothing but beat ass at a high level the entire 4th quarter in the WWE. That's my first one I got.
I think we're naming this episode Bobby Lashley, WWE champ 2021. Hey. That's it.
Hey.
That's it.
Yeah,
that'd be one of the little Lucy's that we let out.
Yeah, man.
I think that's okay. No, I think that might be the glowing thing. Because I think so. You know what? Let me say this right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that we want.
Right.
But I think you may have spoken about the most glaring thing for me too. Mm-hmm. And it's for all of the shows. Because I think if the Hurt Business is going to be what we believe that the Hurt Business is today, Bobby Lashley needs to be the champ.
Yep. Got to.
just like you said. And then flip. If Brock Lesnar is not coming back or just going to be purely one-offs, you need a Brock Lesnar. Who better than Bobby Lashley? You have to grow and put Bobby in a position that he's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the slow burn is going on. Maybe that's what this is right now. But I've said that I believe that at the Royal Rumble, Matt Riddle should become the U.S. champion.
Yes.
And it should be a fluke. Like, I want Bobby Lashley to get pinned and be like,
right. And then jump up and beat the shit out of
somebody. Beat the shit out of somebody other than MVP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And then from there, that's when you start growing him into the monster. And it don't have to be at WrestleMania. It don't. It don't have to be Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. But again, I said it when they wrestled at SummerSlam, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the feud of Bobby Lashley versus Drew Galloway on Impact, yo, this was lit as fuck. Like, yo, he beat his ass in the gym. In the Octagon, fam. Rolled up on him and flexed on his ass. Maybe somebody needs to look at some of that Impact footage and be like, oh, shit, yeah, this did happen. Oh, this was great. Oh, these two are together. Right? Maybe that needs to happen. But yes, Bobby Lashley at some point of 2021 should be world champion.
Yeah.
The other part of it is, for me, as far as Raw goes, is consistency. I think, and I'm gonna say this, and this is almost like fuck AJ Styles and his feelings. Because I think Paul Heyman did a great job at building talent, only for it to be destroyed. And I think if WWE would have stayed the course on Raw, they would be in a better position.
Okay.
But they didn't. They panicked. And Raw is the one who's really been taking the hit as far as the ratings go. But I also believe if they would have just stayed the course towards the end of the year when things start changing, just like they did with Drew McIntyre as the champ, I truly believe they would be in a better position with these wrestlers. Now you got Angel Garza starting all over. You got Apollo Crews having to start all over on Raw. You have Aleister Black that is nowhere to be fucking found right now. You got Humberto Carrillo that's nowhere to be found right now. But you look at people like the Street Profits and they're flourishing. You look at the Hurt Business and they're flourishing. A lot of that stuff started around Paul Heyman. Yeah. So Paul Heyman needs to be back in charge of Raw.
Right.
I truly believe that he needs to be back in charge of Raw. I think maybe it's a lot on Bruce Pritchard's plate, but it's a lot of inconsistency on Raw. And if I were to keep it a buck, it's more inconsistency on Raw than it is on AEW.
Okay. Hey. The math got a math.
Yeah, like, I hate hearing the oh man, WWE got to build new stars. They gotta and I hate hearing it, but at least from Raw standpoint, yeah, and that's the most opportunity for you to have it. So, but I also believe that people got to understand that Raw is SmackDown and SmackDown is Raw now. They're the B show. Yeah. So if they're the B show, they need to be SmackDown when they had like Kurt Angle and Edge and a lot of those people who was like, yo, SmackDown is the land of opportunity, Eddie Guerrero and all these things, but they got to breed that competition too. Because if you look at like some of the docs and things of that nature, oh shit, look at Philly. Carson Wentz wants out. Breaking news. Hey, get his head out. But yeah, man, to foster that, you got to foster competition. And it's almost like Raw has to be NXT last year.
Mm.
And that's why I also believe that NXT needs to be treated like a third brand, because I also think that they need new energy. That's why I believe that Adam Cole needs to be on Raw, or the undisputed era in general. I think Finn Balor needs to be on Raw. I think you need to see people like that. I think Andrade is somebody that you failed on. He didn't fail you, you failed him.
Accurate considering where he was just a year and a half ago.
And look at some of the people that I named. Adam Cole on his first day in NXT did what to who?
He beat the shit out of
Drew McIntyre.
and he did the Adam Cole baby like 8 times. That's one of the best debuts on like
defeated who for the NXT championship. Now I know what they did. I know they did that, but it was no fans. It was no fans. And I honestly believe that he could have did that and then later on in the year gotten built up.
Yeah.
And then you still have the Hurt Business. You still have Drew McIntyre. You have a heel factory for Drew McIntyre if you want to keep him there. You still have Sheamus. You still got AJ Styles. I think they need to do something with Omos. Like now he got to be more than a suave nigga.
Yeah.
He got to be more than the dude that got the world's longest turtlenecks.
The world's longest turtleneck.
Got to be more than somebody that wears the world's longest turtlenecks. Right? Joe, it's got to be more than that. So I think it's an opportunity for you to take some people off of SmackDown, put them in NXT, because Angel Garza can go to NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. And should, honestly.
Yeah. And be a future NXT champ.
Yeah, they moved him up way too fast for no real reason, in my view.
Yeah, like there's a couple of people on Raw that you can move down.
For sure.
And even in the women's case, like I think with Charlotte Flair coming in, now you're solidified. Now you are solidified. But that might be the strongest case they have in Charlotte Flair and Asuka. But I think Rhea Ripley should be on Raw.
And to your point, I think Nikki Cross is going back to NXT.
Well, she's wrestling on Main Event now.
So yeah, she probably would love to be back on NXT at that point.
And the last thing is continue the murderous rage of Randy Orton. He's a murderer.
Yeah.
He's murdering
people on fire, man.
He's murdering.
Hey, Randy Orton, the serial killer.
Yeah,
serial killer Randy Orton, man. Let's see what happens. Somebody's gonna die.
Somebody gonna die. And I'm not even mad at the things that's going on with the Fiend and everything, because I said the Fiend is our version of the Undertaker. And if you look at that early shit, it was just like he wrestled Giant Gonzalez at a WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Same shit.
It is the E portion of the program.
Yeah.
It's all E. You know what I mean?
It's for everyone. And Trey was scared though. It's like, man, Randy Orton. Like, yeah. But I have no issue with what goes on with Bray Wyatt, because he's the Undertaker. He's our Undertaker. He's these Undertakers right now. And if we look at some of the shit that went on with the Undertaker, like the Berserker tried to kill him.
Right. Put a sword in the fucking mat. I didn't even think that was happening. Like, they got floorboards on that shit.
All right.
Like,
that's on the WWE Network, ladies and gentlemen. You can watch that. Watch the Superstars episode, The Undertaker versus Berserker, and the Berserker took his sword and tried to stab The Undertaker. Like, the nigga was anyway.
He's like, yo, you got it too many fucking times, bro. Like, fuck this.
Undertaker, like, let me get the fuck out of here. Not only that, like just look at the trajectory and you'll understand what we're talking about. So I have no qualms as what's going on with the Undertaker, because he's not the Undertaker, with Bray Wyatt, because he's an attraction, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they're putting him back in. They're putting him back in the era the area of attraction. And
yes.
I'm the last show, the big show, is SmackDown. Roman Reigns came through. He has the Isle of Relevancy. I love that more than the tribal chief, because basically what he's saying to you is, I'm making niggas relevant. When you wrestle me,
right?
I'm not even the measuring stick. You fight me, you get money, you take care of your kids, you live a happy life.
Right. So stop bitching.
Right. So stop
this ass whooping.
Right. Just stop it. Let me help you. All right. Help me help you. You have Jay Uso, you have Jimmy Uso, who will be back soon. I had an argument with Boogie to just let him know, like, look, Jimmy Uso's coming back, fam, and they're gonna beat the Street Profits for the tag. They're gonna be the tag team champions, nigga. The Samoans hold all of the belts at one time. Sometimes, but you do have the Street Profits there. You have Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler there. You have Seth Rollins there. You have Big E there. You have Apollo Crews there, and Apollo Crews and Big E will be wrestling because Big E wants to do a invitational. He wants to give people a chance. So Apollo Crews is like, yo, well, shit, I helped you get it. Might not have been it if it wasn't for me. So let me go ahead and get this first crack. You have a lot on SmackDown. Even people who haven't been around, like I said, Seth Rollins has been out. Their women's division has Sasha Banks, they're stacked. Carmella, they're stacked. Bianca Belair, they're stacked. There's a lot going on. You got the Riot Squad stacked. In the women's division. What would you like to see happen on SmackDown?
With everything that you just mentioned, the only thing I really want to see is I either want to see Roode and Ziggler break up or join a faction led by Seth Rollins. And I know that might sound a little out of whack because you got three very great standalone like competitors, right? But for some reason, Bobby Roode is just not the Bobby Roode we know he can be, that he's been everywhere else. Right. And I'm not even counting NXT in that. Like, he's not even NXT Bobby Roode at this point.
Yeah, he's not glorious Bobby Roode.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think, again, I don't know how the Messiah angle would work, but even if he doesn't come back and he's not that, something about Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, and Bobby Roode all on SmackDown together as a unit. I just like the idea, even if it only lasts for like until like past, like, I don't know, Backlash or whatever the June pay-per-view, the Great American Bash, whichever one of the motherfuckers it is, right? I do agree with you. I do think the Usos and the Street Profits will be one of our tag team match of the year candidates, and that will mean the Usos will be the champs. You know what I'm saying?
Thirsty as hell for them matches.
Word, you know what I mean? And I do think that they will. I think the Usos will win only because, I mean, shit. But Street Profits only lost like one match. Like they got somebody got to beat their ass eventually. It just got to happen. They're great. They're doing their thing. I love to see Black excellence on full display in this manner. I do. But it is time for them to, like, do their thing and be after the titles and just make the rest of the tag team division matter outside of just them.
Yeah.
Man, I want to see a Sasha Banks year run. I want her 380 days now. They gave it to Bayley. I think at least give Sasha 200, 250, something. You know what I mean? And sorry, I know this is the first Black Champ podcast, but not yet on Bianca Belair. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. If 2021 goes all the way through and she don't get one title match, but she just is like, yo, I'm here. It's me. I'm the one. I'm fine. And then circle her right back around to winning the Royal Rumble in 2022 and getting her WrestleMania title shot. That's what I would rather see that than have her getting like a 3-week run with the title anytime this year.
Yeah, so I got a lot of shit for SmackDown. Like a lot of heavy shit for SmackDown. I got a lot of shit. For SmackDown, I'll start off with the tag team championships. I've already said it. The Usos need to take control of that division. I think the Usos elevate the Street Profits.
Word.
I think that's why, and that's why that's needed. I think that the Usos elevate the Street Profits to greatness. Mm-hmm. I think that the Street and I know it's gonna sound weird what I'm saying here, but I'm talking about as far as lore goes, and how entertaining they are, and how good they are as a tag team. The Street Profits are this generation's Heart Foundation.
Okay.
Because of how engaged they are, and then the bullying that the bullying and the scientific, I guess you could say, the selling, all of that stuff. For this generation, they have the potential of being this generation's Heart Foundation.
I dig it.
So right, but they need a true heel tag team, a monster tag team to chase. And I think that's the Usos with Roman Reigns, as their tribal leader. Okay. So when Jimmy comes back, like how we saw New Day and Usos at Hell in a Cell, I mean that shit.
Absolutely.
I mean that shit. They have that opportunity because I think those 4 in a match is just that damn good. I'm waiting on that. And I think they also boost the tag team division as well. I think that for all of the WWE's faults and not caring about tag teams, they while I said that not NXT, excuse me, but AEW has more solid tag teams, the WWE's top heaviness, especially on SmackDown, makes up for that. Also in the tag team, they need to really make Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode this generation's Hollywood Blondes.
Okay. I mean, that would help.
Yeah. When I see Robert Roode now, I see him as Stone Cold Steve Austin in that time.
Okay.
Like, they put me in this tag, so I'm going to make this right. I'm going to make this work. But even when he works, I see WCW Steve Austin.
Okay.
And if they hone in on Dolph's Brian Pillman like, because which leads me to another thing. I'm going with actual characters for this one.
Okay.
Dolph Ziggler got to go crazy, fam. Give him the loose cannon gimmick. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of Dolph Ziggler. I just need one shot.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Dolph Ziggler. The irritating heel. I need Dolph Ziggler. I'm tired of selling for you niggas. I need Dolph Ziggler to watch nothing but WCW Brian Pillman subtle character changes.
Okay.
And transition to Dolph Ziggler. I'm tired of introducing myself to you all. I'm tired of trying to prove y'all to something to y'all because y'all done turned me crazy. That way he turns on Bobby Roode. He's now the heel. Bobby's the face. I think that Dolph Ziggler, that nuts Dolph Ziggler, is money.
Okay. Hey.
And can do it too. He has the Joker aspect to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
like we forget a lot of his I'm the best, so let me fuck Vicky Guerrero to get this belt moments.
Yeah. So I want to see more. I want to see a character change in Dolph Ziggler where he's just loose cannon. He's a loose cannon guy. He's that. Fuck it. Give him that. Otis. See, when you said Vader, I was always thinking more Otis than Keith Lee.
I like it.
So I want to see more of that from Otis. I don't want to. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to see the shit with him and Chad Gable. I don't want to see that. No, I want to see Otis get introduced in the Monster Hill Factory.
Okay.
But of course, something got to trigger it. I don't know what that is, but I want to see that. Like I thinking, and I thought about this all week. You had the natural disasters in Tucker and Otis.
Yeah. Ball drop.
Yeah, so yeah, like I'm digging in crates with some people. I'm looking at characters because people remix characters and give it to people all of the time. As far as the mid cards go, as you said for another wrestler, I don't do that for Big E yet.
Yeah.
Don't just let him run the mid card.
Yeah. Because they just changed his music and the color of his gear.
Yep.
So yeah, so let's not overdo it yet.
But here's the subtle character change for Big E. See, the one thing that Big E is doing to people, but not outwardly doing, you look at it like if you look at the tights that he wore during the his Intercontinental title reign, and you look at some of the tights he's worn, even like when some of this era of social justice have happened. It's giving you knowledge on these tights.
Yeah.
Knowledge on these tights. He needs to become more militant.
Okay.
I'm not saying become Ron Simmons.
All right. Okay.
But vocally be more aware at the shit that wrestlers like him went through. He ain't gotta be Ron Simmons. He ain't gotta redo the nation. But his tights tell a story. But he moves so fast that sometimes you gotta pause or get a photo. You're like, oh man, my nigga had Carter G. Woodson on his tights today. Oh shit.
Right.
More militant. Be more aggressive. And still be Big E.
Okay.
Small subtle change. He's slowly getting away from the joking around and shit.
Yeah.
It comes out every so often. So it's slow. You see the slow changes. But I'm saying this because of his tights and what he's clearly is more knowledgeable about. The Rey Mysterio family needs to be destroyed by Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble.
Come on, Roman. Do this one for us.
And Buddy and Dominic needs to be one of those groups of people who get their ass sent in NXT. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And one joint that's going to shock you and surprise you. They need to take Baron Corbin back to that heel he used to be. And he needs to have a 6-week title run.
Talking about what? Lone Wolf, or you talking about the original King? No, right before he was Constable. Are you talking about that one?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, no, you know what? Hey, listen. Constable Corbin, before, like when he was dressed as the racist bouncer from a Russian division. Right. He was the biggest and best heel in the WWE.
Yes, he was.
And it wasn't even close. So no, I get you. So
yeah, I think it's subtle character changes. And then the last thing as far as WWE goes as a whole is continue to embrace black champions outside of what's been going on right now. When people start coming in, continue to embrace them. So that's the biggest thing that I have. And find a better balance between the shows. Find a better balance. Because with a better balance, you're gonna have less top-heavy shows. I think I'm not one of those people that think that the WWE is not doing a good job at building stars. Because everybody can't have the championship.
Right.
You know,
nor are they supposed to.
nor are they supposed to. But on the other side of it, I think the reason why we see that is because shows are so top heavy, and it leans more towards the A show than it does toward the B show. So I think with the addition of them really showing that NXT is a third brand, I think all of that things happen when they start making these brands a bit more balanced. So that's it. As a whole for WWE, what would you like to see?
Man, as a whole for the WWE, I just want to see more innovation and what we hope is post-pandemic. You know, even though I will say that the aspect of the Thunderdome is getting to be commonplace to the point now I don't even recognize its screens until somebody's like getting thrown near one. But I would just like to see more innovation. I would like to see more diversity as far as content, and that's just not even diversity as far as just like more blacks and people of color in the content, but just in the style of content that's being presented. I think there's still a lot of great opportunity. Obviously, a great opportunity for content. Obviously, Vince McMahon feels that way, and that's why he wants all his superstars off of Twitch. So, with that being said, I just want to see how they step their digital game up, as we often have heard over the last decade. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that I would yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to like jump out the window of like merch and attendance and things like that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the government just may not allow certain shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just look forward to seeing the new innovation. Like because I know that there was that pocket of time where it did seem like AEW had the recipe, and they had one up the WWE in an effort to build when they were doing the whole wrestlers as fans in the stands element. And then Vince was like, no, but you know what? I do all this virtual shit. Like, let's, you know what I'm saying? I gave y'all Livewire and Bite this in the 90s. Motherfucker, here's the fucking Thunderdome. You know, you know what I mean? So
about Livewire.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I look at that and I just look forward to see what other innovative elements to revolutionize the way we are watching wrestling to happen from WWE.
All right, so a couple of rapid fire joints real quick. Breakout star in 2021. Is there anybody that you see from a lower or mid card or NXT that you feel that could be a breakout star?
The fix is in for Bianca Belair, but I'm gonna stick to my script and say the Riot Squad because Liv Morgan is gonna be a champion this year.
Okay. I got Shotzi Blackheart in NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a feeling like they about to put the battery on her back.
Yeah, the cannon on her tank work. That was kind of cool. So
that was. So yeah, so she's my breakout star. I think she's gonna have a lit 2020. Since we said women, is there any men that you feel that'd be a breakout star in 2021?
Man, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm not gonna bail on Tucker. I won't bail on him. I don't know where the fuck he at. I don't know what the fuck nigga I'm doing. Some tells me he's coming back with a haircut, but I'm not gonna bail on Tucker. Tucker 2021.
Even though they were stars this year, I'm going to pick the Street Profits because I think this is their year. I think 2020 is the year that we see them become one of the bigger stars in the company, period. And that happens if they do what I think they should do and they put them versus the Usos first chance that they get. Do you see a star that you feel like is going to take a step back in 2021?
start taking a step back. Well, should the way it's shut up, the way it's set up, Sheamus. Sheamus got till June.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn. I feel bad that I feel bad about who I'm about to say.
Okay.
But Drew McIntyre.
He was number 2 on my list. I'm going to explain why too. Matter of fact, my GuaranDAMNTee is going to explain that, I think.
But the floor is yours.
Oh shit! I mean, we got any more rapid fire or?
What the last one? Yeah, that was it. It was just like breakout. Okay. That breakout. Okay. So yeah, that's it. I mean, I've said my GuaranDAMNTee. Which Keith Lee is going to defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Right. But yeah, so yeah, the floor is yours now. We're good.
All right. Oh well, shit. Well, okay. So my GuaranDAMNTee surrounds Bobby Lashley becoming the WWE champion. Now, I do think he's going to be in the Elimination Chamber, but I also think that he's going to lose because I do think they're going to try to give Drew McIntyre a better WrestleMania moment. Yeah. Since he won with nobody there. And it was an audible. They didn't do the cinematic joint. He just won at the Performance Center. Right, in 5 minutes. So I do think they're just going to give him a better WrestleMania moment. So he's going to make it, right? However, what I believe is going to fucking happen is Money in the Bank is going to happen. And Bobby Lashley is going to win Money in the Bank. And then I believe that main event is going to happen with Drew McIntyre and whoever. It don't even matter at this point. At this point, it might even be a return match with Sheamus. Who knows? But I think the Hurt Business beats the shit out of Drew McIntyre. Fresh off of Bobby Lashley winning the Money in the Bank contract. Then, but the fighting warrior that he is, the Scottish warrior that he is, he's going to do his match anyway, and he going to skate and win it. And then Bobby Lashley is going to come up there and beat the fucking shit out of him an hour and a half later again, because he's the CHO, you know what I'm saying, the Chief Hurt Officer. He closes out Money in the Bank, the champ. By default, Drew McIntyre gotta wait till SummerSlam, gets his ass whooped again by Bobby Lashley, and then all of a sudden we just wondering what's up with Drew McIntyre. That's what I think. But the reason why I picked Sheamus is because he gets lost in the shuffle of all of this. Like there is no return match. It ain't no reason to see Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus outside of maybe like one random June or July on Raw. So what the fuck happens to Sheamus? Like that's it.
Gets drafted to SmackDown, probably.
Yeah, hey, So that's what I got. But everything is surrounding Bobby Lashley becoming the WWE champion at Money in the Bank. He wins the match because I think they do it first. Then automatically Shelton, MVP, and Cedric, and Prime Alexander. I'm sorry, no disrespect, my brother. Yeah. They tear off into Drew McIntyre ass as soon as they know that he won the match.
Yeah. I hope that comes true.
Yeah, hey, I'm already anticipating being excited as fucking. That shit happened in May too. Oh, I'm lit.
Yeah. Wow. So basically, we both have black champions reigning in 2021.
Absolutely.
Bobby Lashley. And we had a lot, man. But I think this is gonna be a dope year. I think in general, just in life in general, as soon as we're opened up, everything's gonna be the best ever. I'm sorry. Like this is gonna be if we open up in the summer, this is gonna be the best summer ever. We open up in the spring, it's gonna be the best spring ever. We open up in the fall, it's gonna be the best fall ever. I think that basketball, once things is open, is gonna be the best. When things are open, the football season is gonna be the best. When things are open, and if it's baseball around, baseball is gonna be the best ever. So I believe that once things open up, Wrestling is no exception. I think that barring what happens as far as like COVID and how these things work, it is going to be the best ever because the fans are going to be so excited and they're going to be so lit to be back in the arenas to look at wrestling and to be a part of the show. Whether that happens in 2021 or 2022 remains to be seen. But I do think that, especially based off of what we saw earlier, well, in the second quarter of the year, because we've basically been in the house since March, I think that this year is going to be a heavy improvement for what we have to deal with March. WrestleMania is going to be a bigger improvement. I think we're going to be A-okay. At the very least, with some of the amount of people that's going to be allowed in these joints. With that being said, I still think that there's a chance to grow, not only just in the AEW and the WWE realm. We don't really talk much about Impact. We don't really talk much about MLW. We really don't talk much about Ring of Honor. Tonight for America, Wrestle Kingdom starts. So like at 1:00 a.m. tomorrow, I will not be up that early to watch wrestling, but I know Daily Motion will have the links to matches. So I'll be watching that shit on Daily Motion at a time that is best for me and my sleep habits. But there's going to be a lot of things that's going on in wrestling starting really today, tomorrow morning. So it's going to be a lot for us to talk about. And a lot more ways to watch it. MLW has the relationship with the Zone, Impact, Twitch. I totally forgot that they had the partnership. Impact had the partnership, and I have Twitch, and I have an Amazon Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can look at Impact on Twitch.
Oh wow!
Right out loud, yeah, right out loud. Oh shit. That's how I watched that episode. So I really literally can watch wrestling 5 days out of the week. And I'm excited about that, man. So this is going to be a dope year and a dope year for First Black Champ. Because when shit open up, we out. We going to see y'all at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or Survivor Series. We going to kick you with y'all. We're going to have the First Black Champ gear on. You go ahead and get that merch. We lit. So, man, I'm excited about what we have planned and what some of the things that we've talked about that we can't talk about on the low for 2021. Shouts out to Jonathan Hood. So, hey, man, I'm out, man. We good.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, you already know what it is every time, and this year is no exception. If you ever want to talk wrestling in an unconventional way, you do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Camp Bang, we are out.